Good afternoon, and welcome to More Than Meets the Eye. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and for today we're going to be covering Transformers Generations Legacy Dead End, the Stuntacon. I have him here with his other Stuntacon mates. There are three so far. We are waiting on the fourth one, and not counting Motormaster, he's kind of their leader. Just looking at the limbs here, the limbs, the appendages, the phalanges, if you will. And I knocked over the bat. There you go. Okay, so let's get into this. But before I really get started in this, I'd like to ask if you can go below and do all the things everyone else asks you to do on these YouTube channels. It really helps me out in the sense of I'm trying to reach more blind people. I'm trying to reach more visually impaired people because I know my channel could help them, and I need your help to reach those people. It's going to take us all in order to get their attention, and that's what this channel's about. It's helping the visually impaired and helping the non-visually impaired to understand more about life with visual impairment. And the best part was Transformers for that, and action figures and stuff. It's nice, it's physical, it's visual, it's also textured, so it just applies very well, at least in this humble creator's opinion. And it would go a long way to, if you shared and liked and subscribed and even commented below, it would go a long way to helping this channel reach the target audience. And the target audience, it's really hard to reach those guys and gals. The blind are difficult to find, especially if you're blind. I mean, what am I going to do? Use my eyes to look for them? I ain't got no eyes. So, I'm going to have to ask people with eyes to help me look for them. How often I've passed a blind person in the street, only for my friends to mention a few minutes later, like, hey, there was a blind person back there. Like, you didn't tell me? I'd like to talk to him. Let's cross canes. Let's talk about stuff. Oh, well. Let's get right into this breakdown. It's a fun toy, and it's definitely a good addition to this little series of vehicles. And I can't wait to get the last part. And when we get the last part, like I said before, I'll do a video explaining all about Menasor. So, first off, let's do a comparison of Dead End to Wild Rider. Now, the Wild Rider mold and the Dead End mold are very similar, but Wild Rider is longer than Dead End, just by a hair. And they are the same widths. Yep, they're all the same widths. And we can set the Wild Rider off to the side. Here's the drag strip. Let's get the drag strip in comparison here. Now, drag strip and him are the same exact mold. Well, they're retooled of the same mold, but drag strip is a longer vehicle because he's got this this big spoiler thing on the front. The I don't know what you would call that. The dust plow, the snow plow, whatever it is. It's got it on the front. I don't know the exact term, but there we go. And yeah, they look pretty good together. And now let's get in the Cliff Jumper. Okay, now Cliff Jumper here. He goes from the bumper, the back bumper. We're going to match them up bumper to bumper. And then Cliff Jumper's nose goes most of the way through the front wheel of Dead End here. I'd say that it goes 3/4 of the way through the wheel. So it's a nice little comparison. And then, of course, Cliff Jumper can ride on top of Dead End. Though Cliff Jumper is one of those people that would be trying his best to attack the Dead End, because Cliff Jumper is all about that action, yo. Okay, set Cliff Jumper off to the side, and now let's talk about this vehicle. So we'll cover the normal stuff. We will discuss the weight and sculpt work and things like that, and also any features this may have, and siege ports, always siege ports. So weight wise, it's a weighty little guy. He's got some decent weight to him. He feels solid in the hand. And I really, really like this. I like how this guy feels so solid in the hand, and it's also not loose. Like everything, when this guy snaps together, it snaps together. This thing's difficult to transform back into robot mode because you got to find the exact place to break this car mode down from. I mean, usually I take it from the feet because they're the easiest to start from. That's what I consider to be a great transformation leading to a great vehicle mode, is it's very difficult to get the vehicle mode into the robot mode. I always love that. You lock down the vehicle mode. So we got the two weapons that he came with on this back. I think that, when you take them off, this back area is supposed to be some sort of like back window spoiler thing. But I have found that if you put the weapons in, and then you can do something fun that you can't do with the others. And that fun thing is you can bring both of these parts back and he becomes a mortar. I talked about this in the Blindformers episode, but I do think that's a neat little half transformation step. Like, he's got a battle mode for his vehicle mode where he can just stand in the back and fire mortars all into the Autobots' front lines. I think that's cool. Let's go ahead and remove the guns so we can talk about the vehicle in depth. Now, guns, set them off to the side. Don't you fall over, Wolverine. All right. Now let's talk about this vehicle in depth. This vehicle, we'll start from the front bumper. We've got some, first, siege ports. Two. That's easy. There you go. On the underside of him, though, he's got one, two. He's got two there. And then we come up here, and he should have something more somewhere. Oh, there they are. So 4 on his underside. He's got 4 on the underside, but those are used in the actual Menasor combination. And I really love how the Menasor thing uses 5mm ports and pegs. That does make for a nice solid connection. And I hope they do that more often. Now, let's talk the front. So the front bumper of this vehicle is very nice. We got the, I think this is supposed to be a Mustang. So it's, or at least an American muscle car. There's what feels like the emblem right in the middle of the hood. It's a really long emblem. So I'm going to go more Mustang than anything else because of that. I didn't really look up what types of cars these guys transform into. I just like the cars. The bumper's really nice. It sticks out a bit. It feels like a nice flush bumper. Like, this guy feels American muscle, that's for sure. He's got, headlights that are recessed in there, and they actually got some sculpt work on those headlights. That's fun. It's neat whenever they sculpt the little things, like how some headlights have those little bumps on them. The little they got little grate feeling pattern on them. Yeah, he's got those. That's neat. I'm going to come up here to the top of the hood. The top of the hood's really, nice and smooth, but they do have the brakes so that it raises up a bit where the wheels are, and I really appreciate that. And it's even got that little dent in the hood where those pieces are raised up to make this more of a racing cars. The engine has been dropped down a bit more to stabilize the vehicle. We can come up here to the windshield, and we get 2 windshield wipers. Yes, he's got 2 windshield wipers and a very nice big windshield. It's a very solid windshield, and I do appreciate the sculpt work around it. Like, they've actually sculpted in how the windshield, how when you feel the windshield, you get the top of the car hood, and then you feel like there's a bump down, and then there's another bump before you get to the windshield on regular vehicles. And this one actually included both of those weird bumps. The actual frame of the car, and then where the windshield fits in, and then that bump is actually where they put something on top of the windshield to keep it into place. So that's cool. That's cool that they included that. We got the rear view mirrors on the side. Always rear view mirrors. It's nice when we get rear view mirrors. I haven't found anything negative about rear view mirrors. I've actually really appreciated them during vehicle modes because the rear view mirrors tell you a lot about the size of the vehicle. Rear view mirrors are usually a certain size. So you find the rear view mirror and you have an understanding of how big or small the vehicle is supposed to be in relation to a regular person. And this is sticking to the 132nd scale. I originally thought it was 164th, but I was proven wrong. And come up here to the top. We've got some divots in the roof, which I don't know what they're for, but they're neat. I guess they may be air intakes or something. I tried to put some stuff in there, but nothing really fit. And come down here to the back of the windshield. Back of the windshield's broken up by the fact that this becomes legs, and there is a seam there, but that's not very big. And we come to this back area that is kind of a mess, where the siege ports are to plug the weapons in. This area is a little bit of a mess, but it's all right. Just, he's got the worst feet out of all of them, and these are the feet, and they do kind of break up the vehicle a bit and make it seem less than what it was originally, and occasionally they come unpopped. Hey, why did you do that? No. We're doing a video today. Look nice. Thank you. Put on your collared shirt. All right, so that's the top of the vehicle and the sides. It's got the nice door pattern, even going so far as to include door handles. I just like that. I like those little details, like the little door handles and the little rear view mirrors. We come over here to the wheels, and these wheels each have some really nice rims. And you know what's even better about them is none of these are the pinwheels. Let's get an example of pinwheel going on. That's right here. Look at this nastiness. This guy's got two pinwheels on the back, and it just about drives me mad. Is this the one? Yeah, he's got pinwheels. And what I mean by pinwheels is I mean there's this big rectangular, slot like a flathead screw, and they just plugged a wheel that was hollow in the center into that spot. And I don't like it. I don't like the way it looks, and I just never liked them. It doesn't make any sense why you're going to have a stationary part inside of a moving wheel. It's weird. Now we're going to talk about, those are the wheels. It rolls pretty well, and these wheels are very nicely sculpted. They definitely took out all the stops when the sculpting happened for this. This is really, really well done sculpt work. But that's just about all I can say about this vehicle. It's got nice sculpt work. It rolls very well. It's got a little extra action feature of having a mortar emplacement, which is neat. No other Stuntacon has an extra little weaponizer form that they can take during vehicle mode, so Dead End gets that bonus. That's cool. And yeah, it is a nice addition to the rest of the series. And as vehicles go, I'm going to give this thing a solid 8 out of 10. It's it's a pretty good car. It is a pretty good car. It's going to get an 8 out of 10. 8 because this back area, it breaks up the car feel. It could have been done a little better in the back, and there's not enough siege ports in my opinion. And you know me, I always remove a point for not enough siege ports, and I always add a point for not enough siege ports. So not enough siege ports, you lose a point. But darn it, Wolverine. Anyway, that's been today's video. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I hope that this has helped you make some decisions on the Menasor and the different individual parts in the Menasor. There's not really much more to say about this guy. It's a good figure, it's a good transformation, and it's a good vehicle mode. So overall, I'd give this guy a 7.5 out of a possible 10 rating. And his robot mode is nice, and his transformation is nice, and yeah, I think that's a proper number to give him. He's not the 8.5 that Dragstrip was, because Dragstrip's nice. Dragstrip is a good transformer. This guy is definitely close. But that's all the time we have today. Thank you for watching. Please tune in next Prime, where well, on Saturday, if Star Saber arrives, we'll have an box opening video. Ooh! And it happens during my D&D game. If it arrives during the D&D game, that's going to be all the more exciting. D&D and Transformers all in one. Oh my God, it's going to be a fun day for this Blind Prime, I tell you that. But that's going to happen on Saturday, if it arrives on Saturday. Then next week, we will do Week of Star Saber. But of course, on Monday, we're going to be covering a new Marvel Legends figure. I think all we have left is Darwin and Havoc and Bonebreaker. I think I've covered all the rest from that line. So 3 of the 6-inch figures left. I'll make a community post asking which one of those 3 people want on Monday. And then the rest of the week will be devoted to Star Saber, and most likely the week after that. So let's say go.